Good morning, it's January 26, 2022, and have I got a show for you? After 14 years, Toyota is finally updating the Sequoia. We have pricing on the Kia EV6 confirmed, and the VW Passat says goodbye to the American shores. All that and more to come today on Daily Car News. Hello, good morning. My name is Gary Fasalvo, and today I want to start with the Hummer. It's the electric super truck coming out of General Motors, making 1,000 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. This thing is ridiculous. It has a special crab walk feature, which the rear axle can sort of turn like the front, allowing it to turn tighter in slow conditions and sort of strafe if you're doing a lane change. This thing is ridiculous. This is amazing. $100,000 for 1,000 horsepower of electric power, which is pretty cool. 3 of them were spotted on a transport trailer just outside of Detroit. Now this is the pickup truck that's delivering now, I assume, and we're going to be seeing the SUV in April. Very cool to see. I'm going to keep a close eye on the Hummer EV. I love electric pickups. I think they are the future, and this is showing that GM is taking that seriously. 1,000 horsepower. That's pretty cool. Now, speaking of GM, they are investing $6.6 billion into a new battery factory, actually 4 new battery factories in Michigan. This is going to create 4,000 new jobs, keep 1,000 old ones, and they're using $4 billion of that to convert the Orion plant, which is producing Silverado EV and Sierra EV batteries, to come in 2024. Super cool to see. Again, GM is serious in making electric cars and electric pickup trucks, and this is proof. The proof is in the pudding. $6 billion is a lot of money. 4,000 jobs is a lot of jobs. Thank you, GM, for doing what you're doing, and I can't wait to see what comes out. Moving to Silicon Valley, Tesla and the Bioweapon defense mode has been shown off. Tesla put a Model Y and an X3 in this sort of bubble, right? And then they filled it with air, and they turned recirculating on. Now, if you don't know, the Model Y, the Model S, and the Model X have this sort of HEPA filter, this bioweapon defense mode, which filters out like all of the air particulates, right? And what they've done is they filled it with red smoke. You had a driver sit inside the Tesla, and he reported nothing coming inside. Whereas the BMW sort of filled up with this thick smoke. And this is pointing out, how important it is for EV or for electric, any car manufacturers to focus on what it's like to be inside, right? Yes, you have your comfortable interior, but what are you breathing in, right? Especially as sort of, our climate changes day in and day out. What's this going to be like? I hope more, car manufacturers do something similar to this, where your car is nicer to be in than, the stuff outside. But this was a wonderful demonstration, really opened my eyes to just how powerful the HEPA filtration system is in 3 of the 4 Teslas. Yeah, 3 of the 4, the Model 3 is a bit too small for it to fit in, but there we go. We'll see if the Cybertruck has it coming next year. It's probably big enough, the Cybertruck is huge. And I guess whenever we see the Roadster, it'll probably have it too. But yeah, this is a great demonstration, and it really shows a lot about how seriously Tesla takes the sort of the unseen things inside the cabin of its vehicles. Now, staying on Tesla, a white hat hacker from Germany, a 19-year-old cybersecurity researcher, has found a flaw in the API of 12 cars that release consumer information. Now, everything is okay. Tesla has addressed the issue and fixed the bug, but this shows the importance of what white hat hackers are doing. This kid was just sort of going through the software and found this loophole. Contacted the owners saying, hey, your information might have been compromised, change your passwords, whatever, and then let Tesla know, and they changed things. So props to you. Thank you to white hat hackers. Now, if you don't know what they are computer engineers, enthusiasts, software engineers that go into the code of the things you and I use every single day, our phones, our laptops, our video games, whatever, our security cameras, to make sure that if there are bugs, when there are bugs, they are found by the good guys and fixed, rather than found by people with nefarious intentions and abused. So very cool to see. Thank you so much to that guy. Again, 19-year-old German kid, doing a lot of good work. So we're gonna jump from Germany to Tokyo, where the Subaru Solterra STI was spotted at the Tokyo Auto Show. But that's about it. We got a purple paint, we had red side skirts and front skirts, a giant rear wing, and that's about it. No info on the battery, no info on the power, no info on the drive modes, none of that just yet. You know, for me, this is sort of 50-50. I'm kind of disappointed. I wanted to see more, but I'm interested, right? I want to see what, you know, Subaru is doing, and I think this is the case where less is a little more. You know, I'm going to keep a close eye on them. We'll see what we get. I'm very excited that Subaru is going to go into the EV market, and this is a small little tease from the company, I guess, if you will. So I guess, you know, we'll keep an eye on them, and more to come, right? Now, moving back to America, I mentioned earlier, VW is phasing out, has phased out the Passat in the United States. Now, if you didn't know, the Passat was made in the Chattanooga, Tennessee factory. They've made 800,000 of them so far, and VW has had a mid-size sedan presence in the United States since 1974 with the Dasher, right? So the Passat has moved out, the last one has rolled off the line, and they're making room for the ID4. Now, what my questions are is, where are those owners gonna go? You know, let's say you have had a VW Passat all your life, you've had 2 or 3 different models or generations, and you like it. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna go with the ID4? Are you gonna go with a different VW? Are you gonna go with a different car, right? So, you know, mid-size sedans, you have the Camry, the Accord, the Fusion, the Malibu, the Model 3. I'm interested to see sort of where this owner demographic will go, because it's a pretty specific car. The VW Passat is a pretty nice thing. And with it sort of having, you know, moved away from the United States, I wonder what's next. So keeping a close eye on that. I guess thank you for the service for the last 50 years, VW Passat. And I'm very excited to see the ID4 hit the roads more. That thing is pretty cool. Going to Toyota, the Sequoia is back. From 2008 to 2022, we've had the same Sequoia, 14 years of the 5.7 liter V8 Sequoia. We all know it, we all seen it. I grew up driving one. I love this thing. And now it's getting the recognition it deserves and is getting an update. We have a 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 making 437 horsepower, 583 pound-feet of torque. That's up 56 horsepower and up 182 torques from the previous. This is super cool. It is long overdue. I'm very happy to see this. I love the Sequoia, and it's cool to see Toyota's intentions here. Now, they are canceling out the Land Cruiser. Say goodbye to that. But we are getting a TRD Pro Sequoia, which is pretty cool. We have Fox shocks, front skid plate, different terrain modes, and I'm sure more, right, with the TRD Pro Sequoia. So super cool to see. The interior is huge, of course. It's modern. You have all the modern comforts that you would want. A giant touchscreen, everything that you're looking for is there in a brand new vehicle. Now, if you didn't know, the Sequoia is actually made in Texas. Even though the manufacturer is Japanese, the Sequoia is made in San Antonio, alongside the 2022 Toyota Tundra. These two are going to be taking the road by storm. I can't wait to see it. I'm already in love. You know, sell me one now. Right. Now, talking about Japanese cars made in the United States, did you know that the Acura NSX Type S is made in Ohio, right? Apparently, Acura has a plant in Ohio, and that's where they've been making the Acura Type S, the NSX Type S, excuse me. 350 have been made, 350 have been sold, and it's making 600 horsepower, 492 pound-feet of torque from the 3.5 liter V6. Now, if you don't know, the NSX is the Japanese supercar designed or tuned by the late, great Ayrton Senna himself. This thing is amazing. It's like no nannies, the original NSX, you know, no nannies. It is a go-kart, but bigger and more powerful, and it's amazing. The next generation NSX is super cool. You have a hybrid, 3.5 liter V6 hybrid. It's this sort of perfect supercar, not the electric supercars of the future or the V10 gas guzzlers of the past. It is the present, right? The Acura NSX is here, and now we have a Type S. I can't wait to see these things on the road, and Acura sort of bowing out with the NSX with this Type S package. So super cool to see, and I can't wait to see one in person. Speaking of EVs from earlier, Bentley is joining the EV market. Did you know that? Bentley is making EVs. They're looking to produce them in 2025, and they've invested 2.5 billion pounds. That's about 3.4 billion US dollars into the project. We don't know too much from what they're doing. I know that the Bentayga is a hybrid, but this is probably a whole new venture from Bentley, from the British manufacturer. And it's cool to see, you know, if you think about it, electric is the new luxury, and that's what Bentley is. It is smooth, it's quiet, it's powerful, it's new, it's sexy. This is the next big thing, and I can't wait to see what Bentley can do. Now, Rolls-Royce, don't let them beat you. Let's go ahead and get a Rolls-Royce electric vehicle out there. I can't wait to see what you guys can do too. Speaking of European cars, the BMW 8 Series is getting a mid-cycle facelift. If you didn't like the facelift from before, from the other BMWs, the 8 Series keeps the sort of small, sleek styling from the front, but now it lights up. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess I'll have to see it in person. But you have new colors on the BMW 8 Series, a new light-up grille, and some newer things in the interior. It's a mid-cycle facelift. You know, not too much is changing, but just enough to keep things fresh, keep things going, test things out for the new full redo of the 8 Series. I mentioned before the Kia EV6 has pricing released, and I didn't lie. The 58 kilowatt hour battery pack is starting at $42,115, and the 77 kilowatt hour pack, $48,215. Now this does include the $7,500 tax credit, and I think the US government is talking about doing something else now too, if you trade in an old car. So super cool to see this. It's sort of right there in, you know, mid-range electric small SUV territory. So we're going to have a very crowded market here next year, and I can't wait to see and test them all. Now, taking a complete left turn from EVs made by Kia to Safari Dakar cars made by Porsche. The Porsche 911 Safari has been spotted testing. Now, this thing is cool. It's got lifted suspension. It's got sort of wider fenders, big chunkier tires. You know, this thing is ridiculous, and I love it. The 911 is a workhorse. Not really a workhorse, but it's meant to be used and abused, and this shows it. It's been raced in the Dakar in the past, and now to see a factory production, you can purchase it yourself and drive it home. That's wild. I'm very excited to see this thing in person. I would love to test it here in the Colorado mountains, but I guess we'll have to wait. We don't know too much about it so far, other than it exists. It's being tested, and it's just really cool. So we'll have to wait and see, but I will be keeping a very close eye on what Porsche is doing. In keeping with the sort of swan song, right? Cadillac and the Escalade are bowing out in the best way possible. A supercharged V8 making 650 horsepower. This thing is huge, and I can't wait to see what else they're gonna do. Right? 650 horsepower, 659 pound-feet of torque in the gigantic Escalade, supercharged V8. This is how you do it. This is how you bow out. Cadillac know they're making EVs from now on, so they're going to bow out. Just like with the CTS5 Blackwing, supercharged V8 manual, that's pretty cool. This is how you do it. You say goodbye, loud and proud. Thank you for what you've done, internal combustion engine, but it's time to go. We don't have any pricing just yet on the Escalade V Series, but we're going to keep a close eye on it and make sure to let you know as soon as we do. So that's been our show for today. If you have any questions or any tips for me in the future, please leave them in the comments. My name is Gary, and thank you so much for coming by today. See ya.